Hello my friends and welcome to this video, my favorite type of video, patch reaction, new patch, PTR, which means they're gonna test something. That's what the PTR is all about. So these changes might still change a little bit, but I can tell you from the past, they usually don't change anymore. Let's put it that way. So let's get started. I have already reacted to those patch notes, like first impression yesterday on my live stream. I mean, if something like that comes out on like during a live stream, I just have to react live. Now it's one day afterwards. I slept the day, and yeah, I collected some thoughts because I think it's quite interesting. I mean, it's always interesting with these patches, as you know, and that's how the article starts. The Balance Council is responsible for those changes. The Balance Council are programmers that got invited by the ESL, and they basically like in a group, and they having like discussions about what do they want to change, and it's obviously pros from every race. I'm not part of it. I have talked about it already in the past. I can summarize it for you. I'm not part of this group because I think pros should not be balancing the game. If I was part of this, and I'm sure most of the pros would see it that way as well. Maybe they wouldn't say it, but I'd be biased. Like, why would I be part of like changing balance if I if I benefit from Terran getting better? You know, like Terran gets better, that's amazing. Yeah, that's what I want. So if I was part of this Balance Council, I would just try and make Terran better because then I earn more money. I'm a Terran player. If Terran is the best race in tournaments, I would get more money. So I wouldn't be honest. I have to be honest with you in that regard. So that's why I'm not part of it. But that's not the point of the video. I think I've made that point clear already in the past. What is interesting, I wasn't part of this, so my opinion's like independent. I'm just giving feedback here. I have no idea what they were talking about. I'm basically like a normal viewer. I don't... One thing I heard about when I was talking to some people, one thing I knew about, and that was the queen change that we see here. That's about it. I didn't know about anything else. So let's get started. So they emphasize 14 unit changes and 10 building changes, as well as 2 new abilities. And here in this article, they talk about how they want to not promote like camp play and instead nerf it. Yeah, and that's kind of it. Reshaping Protoss a little bit. I don't know. One thing I never liked about Blizzard, they would always listen to like community websites, but community websites, they're only like that part of the community, while the actual part of the community is like way bigger. And reshaping Protoss tools, like they're listening to those like random like forums or whatever. Doesn't sound amazing, but let's get started. Protoss Changes. Nexus. So, like I said, I've already had a first reaction. We'll go over the changes one by one, so I can tell you what changed. So, battery overcharge is removed, and instead you now have an energy overcharge, which is the same, but it doesn't overcharge the battery. It gives a unit within range or structure 100 energy. So I'm pretty sure that also means you can like get a double chrono, that sort of thing. By the way, I will go for a more in detail video. I think this is just like the first impression and the theory craft, but we're gonna take a look at the unit tester, I think, in the next video. I think that should be pretty exciting. I also have the unit tester open in case I have some questions. Like for example here, my question, we can jump into the unit tester, would be, I'm on the PTR, that's where it's live. So my question right now would be, can I like overcharge my own Nexus, for example? Can I be doing that? Oh, sorry, you get the sound, but you don't see the picture. Just give me a small second to fix that, I guess. There you go. So here I'm in the unit tester. Oh, insta build, please. Awkward break. I don't want to cut this video. This should be a one take. I even took some notes, man. Insta build. There we go. And yeah, here we have a Nexus. Here we have the energy recharge ability. You can't see it, because my webcam is in the way, and now I cast it on my own Nexus, doesn't work. Okay, that's good, so you can't double chrono. I feel like that would have been silly if you can just use it on your own Nexus. So it looks like you can't double chrono, which I don't, like, you can not cast it on your own Nexus. That'd be silly, in my opinion. Yeah, it looks like you cannot do that. I'm trying to, but then if I, let's say, get a shield battery, I should be able to do that. We can test it very quickly to see if it actually works. So I'm gonna damage my forge. I'm gonna heal with the battery in the meantime. And then I'm gonna restore its energy with the ability. So here you can see the shield battery, no more energy. I'm just gonna restore the energy. Bam, 100 energy on the battery. That's that. I think that was important to like fact check that. So because you can't like double chrono, apparently, maybe I'm wrong. If something I'm saying here is wrong, leave a comment, tell me. But basically, that sounds like a very harsh change. As you can see, you can like overcharge here. They have a little gif, like a sentry to put down a force field while the Protoss is dying here to the Master Zerg on one base. That's harsh. I don't know if Protoss, like, do they really need such a harsh change? You know, with the balance council, one thing is for sure. I don't think Protoss is too weak. I think Protoss is amazing, and like, I think the balance is fine. But they don't like Protoss, do they? Because they always get these harsh changes. Or like, are the Protoss players not good at arguing in the balance council, the pros that are there? Like, to me, this is an absolutely crazy change. No battery overcharge, and instead an energy overcharge? Who's cooking over there? If I was a Protoss, I would have not taken that. My first impression is, as a Terran, yes baby, sounds good. If they don't get like any other buffs to compensate, it's like, that sounds like a good change for our Terran friends, I think. I don't know about PvZ, I'm just talking primarily about my Terran experience, but yeah. I think you get the idea. Like, my first impression, I feel like is this a nerf or a buff? Well, it's a redesign. But I think the energy overcharge is far inferior to the battery overcharge, isn't it? That's just my first impression. And if I think about it, yeah, kind of what it is. But like I said, leave your comment, your opinion in the comments. If it gets like upvoted, I guess, then I can see what's like the mainstream opinion, but that's just mine. If I got anything wrong, like with the Nexus, like I said, leave a comment as well. Let's continue. So the battery is now a little bit more tankier, but you know, this is one thing, and we're gonna talk about it at the end again. They talk about how it's like 14 different changes to the units and 10 changes to the buildings, but those changes are always so small. Like, this is a pretty big change, but now it's like shield battery. Yeah, it has 50 more HP. Wow. Wow. Like, that makes no difference. Let's move on. Colossus, it has like less shield, more HP. I guess to compensate for the battery thing, but and EMP and stuff. But wow, shield and HP swapped 50 of it. Yeah, amazing change to Colossus. Like, that's what especially the casuals are looking for, right? No, like, this is such a pro gamer change, honestly. It's like so minor, you wouldn't even think about stuff like that if you're like a casual gamer like myself, Kappa. But either way, Tempest, this is a little bit more of a change. Lower supply again. Damage point decrease. I think that's a buff, right? It's a little bit easier to micro then. And the range nerfed because of a Liberator change that we're gonna see. Okay, I mean, that's a change at least. That's like somewhat noticeable, especially with the supply change. That change, no hate, like, that's a real change, you know, that's actually a change. Like, one supply less already is quite a change. So, like, these are the changes that we're kind of looking for, but at the same time, they are also a little bit disappointing, slash, they're just not really gonna have an impact, do they? Immortal, 25 minerals less, yes! Amazing, that's what we have been waiting for. These 25 minerals are gonna make all the difference. And the small nerf to compensate for that. So no difference in the end, right? Like, what's the difference then? Like, it's like 10%, it shoots 10% slower, but it costs 25 minerals less. It's for PvZ DPS nerf, but isn't it just the same? Because like you nerf it with the weapon cooldown, but then you still buff it with 25 minerals. It's like nothing changed, isn't it? Like, that's just what I think it is, maybe. That's just my theory in my head. Like, that's like just my first impression. Not even first impression. I have had some time to think about it. And yeah, once again, this change, it's basically no change, isn't it? It's like no change at all. This is the one change I like, not because it's like from Terran's perspective, but like these are the changes that we're looking for. So this is one change that I really want to emphasize. I think this is a good change. That's how a patch should be. That's how they should do more things. So they increase the radius of the Nova again so that it gets more units. And a 1.25 increase, increase, yeah, it's not percent or whatever, it's just 1.25, wait, 1.2 yeah, exactly, like 0 point, not 1 point, sorry, 0.125, yeah, we got the math correctly. Change, it's actually quite a lot. It's, if you know your math skills, it's like not as little as it seems like. So it is noticeably more radius, not more radius, I mean more area. And it doesn't one-shot, it does less damage. So now it does 100 damage to like anything Terran, basically anything that isn't Protoss, because against Protoss it does 100 more against the shields. So it means roaches and marauders survive a hit. Good change. I like that. Just this is the actual change. But once again, I think if you ask me, is this a buff for Terran or is this a nerf for Terran? What do we think about it? Is this good for Terran or is it bad for Terran? I think it's good for Terran. And I'll take it. Mothership. But yeah, this is actually like a change that you notice, like not being able to one-shot marauders. I think it's a nice change. It's like actually something you can see, like test, and like I want to have changes that make the game different, you know? And this makes the game different. Like not being able to one-shot marauders anymore. That makes the game different. I like it. I do like it. Mothership. It does a little bit more damage against ground. This is not really something we care about. You can see a small GIF. It now actually deals some more damage, but I think that's not really too important. It's also a little tankier. The abilities are still the same, and it's more expensive. Also something I don't think we're ever gonna really notice. It's a little bit funny. But yeah, let's move on to the most interesting things, and those are the Terran changes. And here, there's some more things to talk about, because if you remember in the beginning, they were talking about how to get rid of tanking play. Not tanking play, camping play. So they want to remove or go away as much as possible from turtling, basically. Terran is the turtle race for sure. I mean, that's kind of how the Terran works. We can go more into theory and whatever in maybe some other video. I already have a couple ideas on what to talk about. These talking videos are amazing. If you like them, always leave a comment. But yeah, and tell me. Bunker, missile turret, and sensor tower are now all able, you can all salvage them. And if they take damage, it gets cancelled. So then you have to like start the salvage again, I guess. And basically, if it takes damage, you can't salvage it. That is a huge change, being able to salvage missile turrets. This is what I mean. Like, the game is balanced by pros. I feel like the Terrans are the big brains here. Because, like, if I think about this change, if I compare it to the Protoss changes, like the Disruptor one or the Battery Charge one, this sounds amazing. This is such a nice change. Like, as a Terran, yes, baby, yeah, let's go. Planetary, one less armor, barely noticeable, whatever. Sensor tower, now cheaper and way less area. So, I'm not sure about that. I guess that's something we do want to check out in the game, ideally, in order to really see how much of an impact it has. Let me get a sensor tower started here, and then I'll show you. There you go. Let's see on the minimap how big the range here is. This is a pretty big map, though. So maybe it's not the easiest to really see. Why can't I make... Oh, it requires a command center. I never knew. Need a command center to build a freaking eBay. Anyways, here's the sensor tower. I don't know if... Did they already change it? Because if I'm looking at the minimap, this still looks pretty good. I like the range of it. This still looks like a pretty nice sensor tower range, yeah. So... my first impression, this is the first time I'm seeing it. Once again, I don't know if it's right. I'm on the PTR on a new unit mod. I hope it's correct, but looking at it first, and I mean, it's like 50 less gas, only 100 minerals. Love it. Love it as a Terran. Love it. For total play, it is enough. Like, for total play, it is enough. Somewhat, I would say. But at the same time, honestly, it's not even that big of enough. Like, I have, like... Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you, Council. I think this makes like, once again, this is a change that actually I think I like. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, this one I'm not 100% sure on. It's like the overcharged change. I don't know. We'll see, but just what I think right now. Like 50 less gas is a lot. You know, it's like so much cheaper now. Orbital, and you can salvage this, so that's another thing. Orbital command, the supply cooldown, as you can see in this little GIF. It now regenerates the supply and gives it a little bit more HP. Pretty cool change. I don't think we really need to talk about it. It's another one of these changes that's neat, but it's like so minor. Is anyone even gonna ever notice? I mean, sometimes you can maybe make a play, but it's whatever. Hellion, Blue Flame, and this is actually another amazing change I'll take as a Terran. Blue Flame does 4 more damage. That also means, and we can go straight back into the unit tester, that should also mean that the Halberd is back one-shotting Zerglings. Maybe even at the far earlier point, you know? So if we... Ah, it's just for the Hellion. Okay, never mind. So the Halberd doesn't one-shot Zerglings. I was thinking about, you know, if you get +3 for the Halberds, that... I was thinking about... that the Halberds would one-shot Zerglings, but it's just for the Hellions. I didn't know about that. So, nothing changes for the Halberd. I think that's good. Hellions are now, in general, a bit better. I like that. Not a bad change. Luckily, we are like on the unit tester to check these things, but doesn't make the biggest... Oof, I didn't even have Blue Flame there. Doesn't even make like the... biggest difference in the world, does it? Let's get the full upgrades. I just want to see it one time to confirm. And indeed, if we have +3 Halberds against +3 Zerglings with Blue Flame, it should not one-shot it, if we understand correctly. It doesn't. The Halberds don't one-shot the Zerglings, so nothing changes in that dynamic. Halberds are still Halberds, but Hellions, they now do 4 more damage, and I think that's pretty damn nice. I like that. If we go on and harass like probes, they now like 2-shot easily. Even SCVs, I think, are now easier to kill. So for mech play, this is something they nerfed like a while ago. Back in like 2011, they nerfed it. In 2011, when like TVT was full of like Blue Flame openers and drop and kill all the SCVs into mech TVT kind of thing. And then it got nerfed and it got never reverted. Obviously with the Cyclone meta, I think it's something we can recover from. Like, I don't think anyone is going to open up one base like Blue Flame openings in TVT. It's not good. Yeah, but maybe now Hellion drops come back in TVT, which honestly I wouldn't mind. Sounds like a nice change. I'll take any buff, and this buff is definitely one buff that you might notice. Okay, a more interesting change, the Liberator. A lot more interesting, this one. Because the Liberator, it basically, they've removed the range, but they give it more radius with the upgrade. So if we go back to the unit tester, you can see the impact it has. So this is the Liberator without the radius. So this is the Liberator without the upgrade. And actually, you know what? What we can do, that's actually kind of nice. We can get one Liberator here that does have the upgrade and one Liberator that doesn't, and just put them side by side, just like that. And then we should see a difference. And wow. Okay, let's remove this little video. Because I think maybe they made a mistake. That's a huge freaking circle. That is a huge freaking circle, man. Oh, I can even zoom out here on this map. Looking at it first, that's one hell of a circle. That is a Liberator. Wow. Terrans are really the smartest at arguing in the Balance Council, aren't they? I can't even deny it as a Terran. I'll take it. I think I like this. Nice change over there. And on top of that, you have the smart servers upgrade that you can get. And with that, you can even siege up faster. So if we compare it, if we like try and siege up both Liberators at the same time, let's see if we can do that. We get like this. And then boom, same time siege. And you can see this one sieges up slightly faster, but in this case you don't even really see it, do you?
As you say.
You don't really see it that much, honestly. The unsiege is nice. I guess with the unsiege you can see it a little bit. Unsiege, we can time it perfectly.
Easy.
Yeah, actually let's time it one time with the unsiege. So unsiege and then we run away.
Need something? We have. Yes, sir. Attention.
Yeah, it's barely noticeable, isn't it? So that's not a big deal. But looking at it, I like it. Yeah, let's go. We back. Thor change, a change to the splash mode of the Thor. They basically buffed the splash and nerfed the range down from 10 to 7, which is actually quite a huge difference. And they give it a lot more splash though. So if we go to the unit tester one more time, and we test it against the Mutalisk, in this case we're just gonna get, I guess, level 3 attack and armor for the Mutas. The Thor's actually now even better against the Mutalisk. I thought it was a little bit of a nerf, but I think this is actually a lot better against Mutas now, maybe, at least in a head-on fight. The Thors are pretty strong, aren't they? Like if I try and like magic box now, let's have a look at it. Yeah, see, like the magic box definitely got nerfed, but honestly the Mutas can still do alright. These are 3/3 Mutas though. My Thors didn't have the same set of upgrades. Let's get full upgrades as well. 4 Thors against 20 Mutas might also not be like the most fair fight, but let's do it one more time. This time with the armor, to see how it is. And now we can see with the armor, it's quite a change, isn't it? So the Thors are definitely stronger against the Mutas. I can tell you that much. The Thors are pretty damn good against the Mutas still. So nothing changed in that regard. Maybe they are even better. So I mean, another, yeah, change that I take. I take that change. Thank you very much, Balance Council. And that's it for the Terran Changes. That's it for the Terran Changes. We start now with the Zerg Changes. And the Zerg Changes look like this. Queens, 25 minerals more expensive. Hatch, 25 minerals cheaper. I think it's going to be barely noticeable. This is something they did because Zergs didn't like hatch block in PvZ as far as I remember. Yeah. Another one of these pro gamer changes that I think barely and no one is going to notice that except pros, you know. So I don't really get that. I mean, the Spore now deals more damage. So that's to compensate for less queens. So like, what's really the difference? I mean, you just build one less queen. So you have like 7 queens instead of 9 or 8 queens, whatever. Yeah, you're playing a TVZ and now you have 7 and not 8 queens, but your Spore deals more damage. It's not really something anyone is ever gonna notice. But I guess because the hatch block is a little bit fixed, it's good. But I don't really want to talk about this too much. The spine crawler change I actually want to talk about, because like I said, with the Terran changes, they said they wanted to nerf the defensive play, but they're buffing static defense. Spore crawler more damage, spine crawler more damage, and build time decrease. Isn't that like annoying for spine crawler rushes as well in ZVZ? Is this like not a buff to like spine rushes, or spine? Are we fine with spine rushes? Is that not getting like stronger now? Especially at lower level play, I feel like this sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it? Like if you're freaking like Diamond Zerg and you just play against these people that drone pool. Honestly, this sounds a little bit 4 less seconds to build. Not sure what to make out of it, especially because they said they wanna like nerf turtle play, defensive gameplay, but then they buff static defense. I don't understand that theory, but okay, let's move on. Let's go on to the higher change, or the bigger change, which is the Hydralisk. It now has a dash ability, and this is something we definitely have to go on and test in the unit test, I think, to see the dash live in action. To me, it doesn't feel like a big change to me. Sure, the ability sounds pretty neat, but I think it's probably not going to be like that impactful, is it? Can I even like upgrade it yet here in the unit tester? We can check it out. Let's see. Is it here? Yeah, it's there. Just have to build a hatchery quickly, and then we can get a Hydra then very shortly after we get a spawning pool and a lair tech. Oh no, I have to a lair tech. Yeah, that's annoying. Insta build is on. Unlock tech trees. There we go. Hatchery, Hydra den. Please let me research my upgrade now. There it is. And now we have the upgrade. Are you ready? This is it. I didn't see anything. It barely does anything, honestly. Let's do it one more time. Yeah, it's kind of neat, but is it like I'm always a negative person, but like I'm really not impressed, as you can tell with like some of these changes. I'm really not impressed. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. They're also slower on creep, by the way, now. Like, they got a little bit slower on creep. They still run reasonably fast. But like this ability, it's kind of neat and like it looks cool, but to me it's like not very impactful. And I guess maybe that's how it should be, but it's kind of the intern had a little bit of fun with like some testing, you know. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this. I think maybe if it's, yeah. Let's move on. I don't really know what to say about it. It just doesn't feel like it has a lot of impact, does it? Like, it's only a 60% movement speed bonus for like that short dash. Yeah. Microbo shout sticks to units now. Okay, whatever. Ultralists are now, this is actually a nice change because now it's easier to have ultras as part of your army without the ultras getting stuck behind. I think everybody that has played Ultralists at some point noticed that. Nice little change, but like these are not like balanced changes, you know, not really gonna have a huge impact. Brute Lord, they did like something to the, I feel like Zerg, like Terran really got the best changes, didn't they? Like if I'm looking at the Zerg change here, like Brute Links are now buffed or what? Like, Brute Links are now buffed, okay. And that's already it for the Zerg changes, actually. That's already it. So honestly, looking at the changes all in all, especially the Zerg changes, I feel like they're very underwhelming, aren't they? What's like my thought now? So do they like nerf defensive gameplay? Yeah, I mean, no battery overcharge and stuff like that, sure. Faster Liberator Siege, whatever. There's also some more general changes here, but they are not really that important. Sure, but yeah. All in all, and this is like kind of my, this is gonna be like my summary of this, I imagine. So I think it's nice to see a patch. I think you can tell that pros are patching the game because these changes are overall very minor, I feel like. I also feel like somehow, like, I like the Terran Changes the most. I think if you're a Terran player, I think the most exciting it is for the Terran, actually. So I guess that's something nice. I feel like Protoss always get such weird changes, honestly. I wouldn't be happy if I was a Protoss, because I feel like reading their changes are kind of rough. Isn't really something you're looking forward to, honestly. Disruptor, like having more radius but not one-shotting roaches or marauders. I feel like it could be rough. What else do we have? Like, did they nerf the defensive gameplay like they wanted? Did they reshape Protoss? Yeah, I mean, we'll have to try, I guess. We'll have to try, but overall, I don't think much is going to change. I think it's going to be mainly like the same meta. I don't think much is going to change. Like, where's like the Ghost, for example? The Ghost. Isn't the Ghost like the thing that everybody complains about? Maybe we should talk about it in another video. But yeah, if you like my video, leave a comment, have a discussion in my comments. I'll be there in the comments arguing with you, talking to you. So I'll be there in the comments. Leave a comment and tell me if you wanna hear my change that I would suggest. Like, do you want to have another video about what I would change? Leave a comment as well. I think some of the live stream viewers might know what I would change in the game. It's not even something balance related, but there's one thing in the game that I feel like also dictates the balance a little bit and some of the changes that we've had in the past. And I feel like I could propose some changes to you guys. Maybe you want to hear that as well. So see you in the comments, I guess. Thank you guys for watching. See you then. Bye.